Hi everybody, this is BVS Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Platinum Armored Suit Batman figure. So before we take a look at Batman, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with your standard DC Multiverse base, but he stands very well on his own. Despite the spikes on the bottoms of his boots, he stands up very well. Up next, you get his data file. I believe this was one of the promo shots that was released before BVS. That looks very cool. And if you want to read that, go ahead and pause that now. Up next, he comes with a right open hand and left fisted hand. And finally, he comes with his accessory holding hands and the Kryptonite Spear. And this Kryptonite Spear looks fantastic. It's painted in silver and has this very, very nice black wash over top of it. I do wish the Kryptonite at the end would have been cast in translucent plastic. I think that would have looked really good. Translucent green plastic, I meant to say. It just looks really good, but it's very, very rubbery. Like, you can see how I bend it. So yeah, I definitely wish it would have been a firm plastic. The soft plastic doesn't necessarily bother me, but this is so squishy it's not funny. So yeah, that's one thing I definitely would have changed about this figure. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt. So taking a look at this head sculpt, I think McFarlane Toys did a phenomenal job on this. The helmet looks great, and even though you can only see just a little bit of his mouth, I think it really looks like Ben Affleck. I love the scratches on the helmet, and they have a very nice black wash down in them, so it brings the details out very nicely. You even get blue trim around the eyes, making them look like they're glowing. That looks really good. And where the paint really shines is the green glow from the Kryptonite Spear. The green glow is painted on here, and that looks fantastic. Like, it looks realistic. It almost looks like it really is glowing the way they painted the green paint on there. So that looks really good. This platinum looks amazing. Especially if you have the Kryptonite Spear right here. It almost looks like it's glowing because of how well that paint's done right there. I'm just really surprised in hand how good that green paint looks, because it's subtle enough to look like it's glowing from this. I love all of the scratches and dents you get down in his armor, and this whole figure has a black wash over him, so it brings the details out really nicely. Like the suit underneath the armor where you get that really awesome texturing right here, it has a black wash and it brings the details out very nicely. You even get that black wash on the back, because you can see if you turn the joint right here, where there's no paint, but that's because it's like that. So yeah, they even continued that black wash on the back, even on the gold portions of his armor. Like right here on the forearms and on the belt, you get a black wash. And that looks fantastic. This has some exceptional paint to it for a standard figure. I also really, really love the cape. It's made of a different material than we've seen McFarlane use, and it looks really good, especially the tattering on the bottom. The wire is strong enough to hold it up if you want to pose it around like that. I just think this looks fantastic. It almost makes me want to see a Spawn figure with this kind of a cape, like done in this material, but of course in red. This material just looks really good on the figure. McFarlane Toys did a very awesome job on this wired cape. I still can't get over how awesome the paint is on this. A lot of times I think all McFarlane Toys really need is a black wash to bring out the details, and this has that. It has that black wash that brings all the scratches and the textures out really nicely, and then you get that really awesome green paint on the left side there. McFarlane Toys just did a really, really awesome job on this. As I said, he can stand up very well despite having these spikes on the bottoms of his boots. I really didn't figure he would stand because of that. But yeah, he can stand very well. And also, as I said, the sculpt and the paintwork continues on the back. Sometimes some McFarlane Toys don't always have those. You know, they don't always have the paint detail on the back, especially if it's a character with a cape. But this Batman does. The only place where I see some paint that didn't get painted on good was some gold that got painted up here on his gauntlet. But other than that, this figure is painted really nicely, and I think he also has some really good articulation, which let's go ahead and go over that now. He has a ball-jointed head that can look up all the way. He can look down all the way. He can move his head to the right very nicely. It is a bit of a tight fit there, and he moves to the left just a little bit. The strap right here that runs across his chest does hinder that very slightly. He has ball-jointed shoulders that can move all the way out. These shoulder pads don't hinder because they're attached to this butterfly joint right here. can move all the way around. He has a swivel at the bicep, single jointed elbow that can bend in that far, ball jointed wrist that can move up and down, and spin all the way around very nicely. He has a ball jointed diaphragm and waist that can move back that far. He can actually crunch a decent amount. I do wish he could have crunched forward a little more. When you do crunch him forward, you do get a bit of gappage back here. But he can move side to side very nicely up here and down here at the waist. He can move all the way around like that. The articulation in particular in the hips is very nice. The diaper piece, I guess you want to call it, is very soft. So he can do a complete split. He can kick forward very, very far. I was really surprised at the articulation on this because, you know, he has these big bulky thighs for the armor. But he can actually kick forward all the way. He can kick back all the way. He has an excellent thigh swivel. Double jointed knees that can move all the way back. Ball jointed ankles that can move down very slightly, up very nicely, spin all the way around, and toe articulation that can move up all the way. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the regular Ben Affleck Batman. This figure is quite a bit bigger, but that doesn't bother me because he is in that armored suit, and the spikes on the bottoms of his boots do increase his height. Here he is next to Superman. Here he is next to Wonder Woman. Here he is next to the False God Superman, the only other Platinum figure in this wave. And finally, here he is next to the Dark Knight Returns armored Batman figure. And I have to say, I love what the DCEU did with the armored Batman suit. They did upgrade it, you know, they added some textures, some stuff, but I think it's instantly recognizable as the same suit there from the comics. I think the design team did a very awesome job on that. So overall, if you can find this Platinum, then I would highly recommend picking up because McFarlane Toys went above and beyond with this particular figure. The paint detail on it is very nice. Not only do I love the green paint on that makes it look like the Kryptonite spear is really glowing, but you get this awesome black wash over top of the whole figure, and it brings the details out very nicely. As I said, if a McFarlane figure lacks paint, all it really needs is just a bit of a wash and then the details pop, and this figure already has that. And the articulation is also really nice. Like I said, for it being an armored, bulky character, usually the articulation on those type of figures are hindered. But on this one, it isn't, especially there in the legs. I was really worried that he wouldn't be able to be posed in some pretty epic poses. But yeah, I've been able to get him in epic poses because he has such good articulation. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.